What do you tell an atheist who says he looked for God and God didn't reveal himself to him? And generally, what do you make of the argument of non-resistant non-believers? I'm a little torn on it. On one end, I want to affirm a person's genuine and sincere. On the other end, I want to affirm that Scripture tells me that men are without excuse. Romans 1, it says, that God's attributes are clearly seen by creation. You can look around at creation and see his attributes. So people are without excuse if they don't believe in God. I believe that. How do I affirm the sincerity and genuineness of individuals, at the same time, be honest about the fact that they should believe in God? Well, I think I just affirm both. I go, look, I don't doubt your sincerity. I do, however, think that you should see God in creation. You genuinely don't, but that may be a result of a blindness that's on your heart. Now, that is very offensive to people. I realize that. A lot of non-believers would be like, so I'm spiritually blind is what you're saying. Yes, there's an aspect of your awareness of the realities around you that is not right. Or of course, you think I'm blind too. You think I'm blind to how genuine and sincere and non-blind you are. And so it's not like we're off to a different base. What's happening in this discussion, though, is we're moving the discussion away from God's actual existence onto a focus of the sincerity and the genuineness and the goodness of this person across from me who's like, I'm looking for God and I'm not seeing him. There are even people who go further and they're like, I want to know God. I want to believe in God. I'm looking and searching and searching. But there are other sources of blindness that are not always internal. They can be somewhat external as well. And so what I mean here is a person can have a blindness like the ketchup bottle thing. You open the fridge and you can't find it. It's right there, but I just can't see it. Something's wrong with me. I don't see it. That can be the case with my search for God. I may have a blindness that I'm a bias, a blindness, wrong thinking. I keep running into the same evidence and I disbelieve it for a bad reason, but I don't see that as a bad reason. I think I'm just being clever and wise and smart. But there's also an external blindness. Satan is a deceiver who deceives the world. Now, deceiving the world implies that there's something external there that's bringing a blindness onto people's lives. So, but then does that mean that there are non-believers who they genuinely want God? They just want to seek the Lord with all their hearts, and Satan's blinding them. And so here's better than a non-resistant non-believer. They're actually pursuing God, but they can't find him because Satan's blocking it. I think that the answer here biblically is those who seek him will find him. That at some point, God is going to reveal himself to them, and they need to continue seeking him. Non-Christians are not going to be satisfied with that, most likely. A lot of them anyways aren't. They're going to find it offensive. It shouldn't be offensive to them. Like, they believe people around the world are deceived about all kinds of things. There's nothing surprising about thinking that I can be deceived about something too. If there is a real God, if Christianity is true, it's at least encouraging to think that if I continue pursuing God, that I will find him. But there are biases that people have. And the same non-resistant non-believer goes, oh, I wish Christianity was true. And then they'll go, but the Bible is atrocious. And if God exists, he has some explaining to do. And you're like, well, these are biases against the thing that you say you're seeking. But I think my biases are well established. Of course you do. Everybody does. That's the nature of the kind of self-deception and biases that we all can experience. I know this is really offensive to people. I get that. And I try to avoid that offense if possible. But it shouldn't actually be offensive. It's just an analysis of if Christianity is true, then your non-belief is not merely a result of the evidence. It's also a result of spiritual battle that's going on, a result of your own biases against God and against truly following him. And one thing you can ask is, if you came to believe right now that Christianity was true, would you worship God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength? Would you love God? Would you embrace Christianity? Would you be able to sing worship songs to the Lord because of his love and goodness? And if the answer is like, oh, well, I don't know, then you see that, yeah, so there's a bias that's there, that's being revealed in that moment. At any rate, I think this is all more encouraging than a lot of people think it is, because it would mean that if you do seek God, you can find him. Continue seeking the Lord. Continue seeking after God. Continue praying, Lord, search my heart, God. See my biases, see my whatever I have going on, God. Maybe you have to pray this way, God, if you're real, because I just don't know what to think, then help me see through my own issues. Help me seek and find you. Help me work through these biases. Help open my eyes and keep pursuing and seeking God. But here's the weird thing. People are psychologically complex and we justify things so fast. It could be I'm not saying this is the case, but it's possible, right? You guys know humans, you know you. It's possible you could pray that prayer purely as a way of justifying yourself. Well, I spent 3 months going to church, praying, doing worship songs, and asking God to reveal himself to me. But maybe the reason why you did this was as a way of validating yourself, not as a way of pursuing God. We are just complicated people. All I can encourage people to do is keep seeking the Lord, pursue God. Don't just do it so you can tell a story to other people about how I'm a non-resistant non-believer. Look at my story about how and maybe validating myself was my goal there. God knows our hearts. Yeah.